Back to playing some monsters today. I decided to go back to playing some Arachas Swarm, but I wanted to try something different. Specifically, I wanted to try a more control-heavy version of the Arachas Swarm. The last version I made was essentially only point slam, because it was facing off against the current meta of just hyper thin back then. Right now, though, I keep playing these Syndicate players, these Scoia'tael players, and I wanted to see just how we could fare with Arachas Swarm. Now, the only issue with Arachas Swarm is, if we go up against stuff like Reckless Flurry and Scalaga, stuff with Madoc, Cataclysm's really good at removing the drones, and so are the Reckless Flurry pings, so are Siege and Siege Engines, which are fairly popular. There's a decent number of those around. But anyway, I decided I wanted to play Arachas Swarm, but we're going to play a more control-heavy version, so for that, we went right down to 13 units. I guess we'll go through everything in the deck real quick. So most of these are pretty standard. If you're playing any Arachas Swarm deck I make has these things in it. Magic Lamp, Ornamency, Triss, Crimson Curse, Germain, Yennefer, Arachas Behemoth. The Spontaneous Evolutions, these are really good. The Chimeras, and the Arachas Nests. Those are the ones I always play in Arachas Swarm. The rest of the deck you can like fiddle around with it what you want and play what you need to. So for me in particular, I want a control-heavy version. So we're playing the other cards as in Karanthe Heatwave. Triss is less consistent in this deck because there's so many different bronze specials, but that's fine. She gets good value on almost any of them. Heatwave's just here to banish stuff. You all know what Heatwave does. Crimson Curse has so much value in this deck. You spawn 3 bodies worth 7 points immediately and give them 10 points worth of bleeding over 5 turns. The 3 bodies isn't negligible either. Germain I really like for making the 5 bodies. It's pretty good. Yeah, he makes 5 bodies immediately. It's good. If they don't answer him, you can make a 6th one. That's nice. With Yennefer, she's our big swing. Aguara and Dorrregaray Vole, we're actually running double lock. Now, the reason we're running double lock is I was at 11 units, and I had to put in units because there's so many specials I like in the deck. And I had 13 provisions, and yeah, 13 provisions, so I just went for double lock because I wanted at least one. I considered Iris and Iris' companions to test them out, because there's certain cards we really need in the deck. For example, we really need our Yennefer. We also really need Arachas Behemoth a lot of the time. But I went with the 2 locks. The 2 locks actually performed quite well. Aguara is less valuable if you just want 1 lock. Aguara is the worst one because we don't have any value on unlocking something. So if unlock's good to you, Aguara is usually the better choice than Dorrregaray Vole if you can afford the 2 provisions. If not, Dorrregaray Vole is more efficient. I'm just running both, because we're just going to try and control our opponents and then blow them up with a huge swing. That's the idea. Then we have our Behemoth, really good. Arachas Behemoth plus 5 leader charges is 17 points, I believe, right out. Yeah, 17. So if you need that number for a finisher, say you're trading control cards with the opponent, you can just finish with 5 charges Behemoth for 17. It's pretty good. It's very resilient to tall removal. We have Wistus Tribute to play any of our organics, usually Crimson Curse, but it's whatever you need. The Parasite. 1 Predatory Dive. Now, Predatory Dive and Hideous Feasts are the ones that I'm not sure on. I want to try out Hideous Feast, because I thought the 3 damage would be really good at removing Dual Blithana Whisperers, but we didn't really run into Dual Blithana Whisperer at all today. It was good versus Ballista. It did work versus Ballista, and it's not bad for sure, because it gives you 7 value with the 1 drone it spawns. And being able to spawn a drone is pretty helpful without a leader charge sometimes. And the Predatory Dive I wasn't running, I ran it, I didn't run it, I ran at 2, ran at 0, it's whatever you want to play. It's alright, it's really good going second, especially if they play something like Mages, Patient Mages, where they boost up their first guy, then you drop this. Or say they're playing Melusine and they drop their Defender round 1 and you just Predatory Dive it. There's stuff like that, this is really good versus. So I think it's nice to have 1. With the 2 Spontaneous Evolutions we mentioned, so it's really good. Then we have the 2 Griffins. Now, like I said, I was really short on units in this deck because there's so many special cards I wanted to try out. I want to get as much value as possible from our Arachas Swarm leader ability. So if you take a look, we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 organic cards. Obviously the Ornamency and Heatwave are not organics. And yeah, actually we have 11 organics for Predatory Dive, I think. So yeah, we get 11 extra points off our leader ability. We get 16 total points off this. We play all of our specials, which we probably won't, but it gives you really good value. And with so many organics, it spawns a lot of excess drones, because every time you play one of them, you get a drone. I figured there's actually enough drone spawning to make Griffin alright. Because Griffin's 8 for 5. The thing that's really nice about Griffin that I really like with the deck is it helps a lot setting up the Wild Hunt Riders, because Wild Hunt Riders can be a pain to play because you don't have anything tall, except maybe Aguara. Three rolls a 6, but you don't have anything super tall, so it can be kind of hard to play them. You're just going to put the evolutions on a drone that goes to 5, so it can be kind of hard to get dominance, but dropping Griffin really helps with that, and Griffin's not a bad play in general. I just wanted to test it out because we're really short on units. There weren't really units I wanted to play in particular. So we play with Griffin. You could throw a Maxi in here too. Maxi's certainly good. The 2 Chimeras. Chimeras are really solid, give you tons of points. And we have the other cards. So this is the deck. I wanted to see how it would go if we get more control focus. In the end, we don't have that much control, right? We have Heat Wave, we have 2 locks, a Parasite, a Dive, then we've got the 2 selections and the Feast. That's what, like 8 control cards. It's not crazy, but it's certainly more than most people expect you to play, and that's really helpful against things that Arachas Swarm struggles against, mainly Siege. Siege is a really big problem normally for Arachas Swarm because they keep pinging everything, but we have enough removal to actually deal with the Reinforced Ballistas and Trebuchets and stuff like that, which is really nice. And with that, I wanted to see how the deck went, and let's get to some games and actually see how it does. Let's go into our game 1 here. Now, we've played quite a few games with this. Actually, not quite a few. I think we've played about 5 games before making this video, just to get some warm-up and practice with the deck. Made a couple changes to the old version of the deck. I tried this out a little bit with no Predatory Dive, and I tried it out with a couple different changes. I settled on this version to make with the video, because I thought this one was doing the best. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have in here. We have our nice little Wild Hunt Rider, perfect. Griffin's solid here to help us get that Wild Hunt Rider off, since we're going second. He's playing Curse Scroll. Now that is interesting. That is very interesting. Now he's playing Imprisonment. Imprisonment, I've seen a few times before this today. Actually, I think this has gotten more popular today. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe it's popular yesterday. I didn't play too many games yesterday. So I must have made a stream or a video on it if it's this popular all of a sudden. That's what always seems to happen. Actually, we can just drop the riders now. That's pretty good. I'm curious what he Curse Scrolled for. I'm not quite sure what it'll be. Now the problem is this has Veil. Okay, we can put Crimson Curse. Maybe we can push with Crimson Curse, is what I'm thinking. My issue here is these Nilfgaard decks tend to be running, at least a couple I've seen so far, they've had Bribery in them, and the other problem is in Coup, because they can Bribery your Yennefer and blow up all your tokens. They can kill your Yennefer and blow up all your tokens. So usually you want to finish with her. But the other thing is they can R2, whatever his name is, the guy who creates a copy, they can give your Yennefer spying and then create it and play it. So the matchup, although normally this wouldn't be so bad, it's bad if they get your Yennefer. So yeah, that'd be bad. In the game before this, my opponent briberied Yennefer, and then he briberied it, played it on me, blew up all my tokens, and then he got another one, and then did it again. So I got double Yennefer against mine, and we lost that game. That was before we made this version of the deck. A couple changes after that. So let's see what we're going up against. Maybe I'll throw that clip in here. Might be kind of funny. Alright, let's see what we have here. He's pushing pretty hard. We played our Crimson Curse like I mentioned. Now, we're going to have to do this. I really wish that Mage Assassin didn't zap down our drone. It cost us a leader charge, but it is what it is. 20% chance he kills it. He kills it. Now we're going to push hard here. And the reason why is I want to get Last Say so we can finish with Yennefer and not have him coup it, because that's pretty bad. And although the thing is, they won't usually save coup for Yennefer. They'll use it on something else like their Joachim or whatever else they give spying to. But you have to keep in mind that if they don't play it, you have to save Yennefer for last. You also want them to play the Archerad guy first too. There's a Dead Man's Tongue fitting his deck. Perfectly normal. Now he's going to keep going here. There's a +10. Crimson Curse help us stay in here. Let's throw this down. Griffin's a pretty solid play. I don't think these people play Evar. If they play Evar, this is what, a 14-point Evar? It's pretty good for them. It'll be the tallest thing in our deck, because Chimera is not getting much bigger than this. Also keep us up with him. Help us keep up, rather. There's Menno. He's going to come out here. Go for Imperial Diplomacy. Alright, he's going to probably throw something with bleeding at us. Good plan. Saves himself a point or two. Alright. Getting his Assimilate. So here we have Chimera, but we also have Triss. I'm going to throw out Triss. Now, oh, can we amnesty him? We don't have Devotion, so none of his have Spying. Yeah, we won't do that. I think we want these drones. Actually, do we want the damage? We can get rid of Artorias Vigo. Yeah, let's get rid of Artorias Vigo. Seems good to me. It denies him points. And the drones could over-swarm us, so we gotta be careful for that. I want the option to Invocation into Yennefer as a finisher if possible. That denies him the opportunity to coup it later, and maybe we can get into a situation on even where we can push him pretty hard. And then finish with 5 leader charges or 4 charges close to Arachas Behemoth. That might be alright. Alright, now him having Spying on our Yennefer is really bad because he has Assimilate. I mean Triss, not Yennefer, on Triss, because it creates him a card, and giving him a card that triggers Assimilate, and then that creates another card, which can make another card, can trigger Assimilate, is Triss from us is potentially a triple Assimilate proc, which is really, really bad. So yeah, that's not good. There's Faircar. We don't really want to... He's not too bad. He might play coup on us. Yeah, he's going to play coup on our Triss. That kind of ruins our plan of pushing him this round. But he is committing a lot and he can't do this later. There's a Hideous Feast. Sure. Our only real hope to continue our plan of pushing here is the Heat Wave here. If we do this, we can't Heat Wave a Jokeweem target. We can go for our Behemoth. Gets full value here, and that should give us the same amount of points. Then he has a Bleeding. So we still win on even. I think we want a Heat Wave here. I'd rather win on even than save Heat Wave for a Jokeweem target, just because we have so many points in a short round anyway, from leader charges and Yennefer. Vincent lands for 12, that's pretty bad. So yeah, this is the turn we Heat Wave, because Heat Wave keeps us up. And then we have our Ownermancy to pull something from our deck. Unfortunately, we only have this Predatory Dive as our finisher, which is worth negative points. Actually, we have Triss at 1, so it's worth 1 point. 2 points, actually. You get 2 points of damage. He's going to Bribery into a Germain. Really good hitting at Yennefer there, because then we get all of our stuff destroyed. We really want to force these cards out, the ones that give him the access to Yennefer, because we don't want him to have it. Let's Ownermancy here. And I think the biggest card for us is going to be this Chimera. Let's just consume here. And that was worth another 10. That's pretty good. Now, here, I think he's holding on to a card he really doesn't want to play, otherwise we would have passed. This is probably Arturod or whatever the card's name is, or something like that. I don't think he wants to play. Because almost no one wants to play out their entire hand in round 1. And he doesn't know that we have Predatory Dive. We could have Bone Talisman. I'm sure he expects we have Bone Talisman. And there's a pass, so that's pretty nice. Now, our plan was to win that round. And then since we won the round, now we can do our follow-up, which is going to be to push him here if we have a good hand. If we don't have a good hand, we'll just go to round 3. I'd rather push him, though. I want to get rid of the Jokeweems and such. This hand's actually pretty solid with the Ownermancy. We have Parasite to deal with something, we have Aguara to deal with something. And we'll just use a leader charge and go for our evolution here. We still have our Yennefer, we can play her out, see what this guy does. We just want Jokeweem to be gone, because he's kind of annoying to deal with. There he is. Now, I want him to play a second coup charge as well. Oh, Barathans. So we're bleeding him very effectively here. It's not really bleeding, well, Ownermancy we get Echo on, so it's not a big deal. And he's going to create and play a copy of a drone. He gave us a point to create a 1-point drone, but it did actually assimilate, so we gave him a point. Let's just Aguara here. I don't think Aguara is going to be super helpful. His engines tend to have Veil. His engines tend to have Veil, some of the Assimilate ones, and none of them are really high value. I think we get more value by using her here to push with. Here's the coup we mentioned. Now we have Ownermancy and Parasite. both of which are decent. But again, I don't think there's anything on Parasite. There's the Mage Torture I mentioned. She has Vale. So we can pass here, or we can play out Parasite. I want to play out Parasite. He definitely has some cards in his hand, like Artuad, I think is his name. I should look up his name. But I want that card in particular gone before I play Yennefer. So getting rid of him is one of our top priorities in this matchup. Artuad, that is his name. Yeah, he's been used up now, perfect. He's going to get the Triss out, and it's really good we get rid of this too, because that activates so many potential Assimilate Swarm in around 3. There's one, he's going to amnesty us. I don't really care what he takes, because we're going to pass now. We've bled out a whole bunch of his big cards very effectively. We lost our Aguara, but that's not important really. And Parasite's not too important here either. I'm thinking if we go 3 charges in Yennefer, how many points is it? Does he have a chance of winning? We're up by 3 units. We get 12 extra points, 14 points from Yennefer, and that would put us at 36. That's not even enough to win the round. Actually, we get 3 more, so we'd get 39. We could force him to use his leader. Well, he plays last card, but it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. Okay, there is the Arachas nest and Germain, and with access to our Yennefer, that is basically a perfect hand outside of Wispa's Tribute. But Predatory Dive's really good here too, because we're going second, and we can just answer his first shoot with Predatory Dive. And then I'm sure he has a bunch of reactive cards, or at least he has reactive leader ability, so that's good for us. We'll just Predatory Dive this first card. Let us see what it is. It's creating it from our graveyard. Well, I guess playing it from our graveyard. It's going to be Chimera. We don't have any bronze cards really for him, so we'll just play Predatory Dive here. Gives us a point, takes away 5 of his. Not too bad. Then we have Germain nest into Yennefer, and that's 5, 6 units, 10, 11, 12 units, and he's going to create another drone. This must feel so bad. Yeah, so we have access to, right now, we have this gives us 5, Germain gives us 6, on top of the, well, we currently have 7, we can create 3 more and create 6 more, we can go, oh, he's getting us another guy. Our finisher is so big. He's going to remove 2 of our drones, we'll get the drone by killing it with a charge. We'll play Germain here, and yeah, if he doesn't have anything here, we have 3, 6, 11. Some invocation. Yeah, we're up here. And yeah, that's it. GG. Game 1, we won. So this is going to be Precision Strike Scoia'tael. Almost certainly the meta deck with the bombs and Madoc. No units. Maybe the Synthesis version, maybe the Feign Death version. Some of them play both apparently nowadays. This should be a difficult matchup, which should be making it pretty interesting for us to test the deck out again. The reason is he has a lot of pings, a lot of damage pings. We don't want that rider. Yeah, he has a lot of damage pings, and Madoc can kill 3 drones every time he uses his ability. That really hurts our card count, or our unit count. Which is the whole point of why I cut Bone Talisman from the deck. I figured we'd go up against this quite a bit and have this issue. There's the making a bomb into Madoc. Very normal. Now, if we were super smart, we could have put our riders in the ranged row, then used our lamp on the melee row, and then he would have gotten 4 bleeding instead of 4 damage. But in this case, it doesn't matter because we're going to play for at least 4 turns anyway. So looking at our setup here, unfortunately, I think we have to use a leader charge. Once we do that, though, this round should be pretty good. We are missing our Yennefer and our Triss. Those are our 2 big cards. But we have access to our Crimson Curse, although it's not very good versus him. We want to thin our deck out because we have several good cards still in there. And Hideous Feast gives us 7 value here, and it also denies him a turn of Madoc. He's going to have the bomb to bring the Madoc back. Unfortunately, we have no locks in our hand and no Ornamency, otherwise we'd get a lock from our deck to lock this guy. We also Heatwave him right now. I would Heatwave him if I was holding him. If I was holding it, I think it's the best value here. We're not going to be able to hit the Gourd. So what is he going to do? There's a Dimeridium Bomb. Yeah, he's going to bring back the Madoc. Pretty standard. But we did get our drone out, which was the important thing. I wanted to get a drone out, and by pulling out a card with Wispa's Tribute, we didn't have to use a leader charge. These leader charges are going to be really valuable here because everything's going to get removed, so having as many as possible for our finisher, whether it's going to be Arachas Behemoth, which I'm thinking it probably will be, or Yennefer will be helpful. We're going to lose some here. We'll just play our next Spontaneous Evolution afterwards. There's a Northern Wind, and here goes 3 drones. This is what I was saying in the deck profile, because I think I said it in deck profile. The reason why we're not playing Bone Talisman, I expected to face stuff like this quite a bit. Control is very popular. Syndicate also can deal with our guys very efficiently. There's a Synthesis, so yeah, he's going to be playing the no unit version. Kind of figured that once the Madoc came out. Behemoth will throw down now. This will ensure that we win this round because if everything's past a 1, he's not going to be able to kill them so easily, and if he can't kill them, we have access to our Chimera plays. The Dancing Star could get some good value here with Madoc, but we'll still have plenty of Arachas drones left. Geralt Professional killing an Arachas drone. Not often you see that, that's for sure. But we're still going to play Chimera here. We could use a leader charge for an extra point or 2, but I think we'll just hold on to those like I said earlier. We'll probably finish with Yennefer. All of our guys are at 3 here. And Dancing Star does what? 3-2 damage. With Madoc does some. I just want most of these drones to live for our second Chimera. Getting the value of the Chimeras this round is probably a good idea. It's going to be fairly difficult to keep all these drones alive. Isengrim's Counselor, what are you pulling? Shiru. Is he going to double ping a Shiru down and then blow up all our drones? That would be annoying, but it wouldn't be that bad, really. Because then he doesn't have a Shiru, he doesn't have a Geralt. He's committing very heavily here. And he's going to Shiru... Wait, why'd he hit that? He hit us down to a 2, that's pretty weird. Oh, he wanted to pull them out of his deck, and then Shiru kills 2 of my 5s and himself, making Shiru a net 5-point play. Okay, I'm not a big fan of that play by him, honestly. I think he should just blow up all our drones. He could have also taken out... And if he didn't pull us out of his deck, yeah, he could have done something a little bit different there, that's for sure. Not a fan of what he did. But this Crimson Curse will seal the round for sure. I just want him out at this point. He's committed Shiru, and with Shiru gone, we're very safe. That was his big play versus our deck, I guess. I didn't expect him to playing a Shiru, but apparently he was. Yeah, it would have been much better for him to Shiru all of our guys, but I guess he had something else in mind. Right now we have Heat Wave. It's kind of late for Heat Wave on the Madoc here, but we can lock it, and locking Madoc basically neuters him for a whole round, which is pretty good. We could just pass, but I don't think I want to. He's used all his leader charges up, and I don't want him to have a ton of control later on. He's going to have Herald Gourd, but it's not going to be, without Simloss and Orbs, it's only like a 12, maybe a 14 boost. I mean, a 12 or 14 after the boost. So, there's a Nature's Rebuke. Basically, knew that was coming. We can actually Chimera and eat a cow. It's still worth 8 points, it's not bad. I think we'll do that. We'll Chimera the cow. And we do have access to Triss still. We don't actually need to spawn a drone for Spontaneous Evolution, because getting a +8 on a cow isn't too bad. Although it makes it kind of tall, and he might have tall removal, but I don't think so. When he brings back his Madoc, Saber-Tooth Tiger, we can actually avoid all the damage from the Tiger, which is good. This is one of the cards we don't want him to have. Let's go for our Triss here. I'm not too sad about using her here. Like we said, we don't need a drone here. Let's make this guy pretty tall. Boost by 8 and get a drone, that's worth 9. Very nice. Now, I want him to have to play his units. He's playing a no-unit deck, right? So I want him to play his units, because he's going to need them for points this round. And then he won't have them for round 3, especially Feign Death. I want Feign Death gone if he's using it. There's making a bomb. And he gives us 4 bleeding. There's Madoc. We'll just lock him so we don't have to deal with him this round. Assuming he's holding on to bombs, which he might be. They're all now worth 3 points less, which is really good for us. Yeah, basically here we want to force out Feign Death and his units, because if he doesn't have those round 3, and we kill one, oh, Xavier, we don't care about. Yeah, we just don't care about Xavier right now. Hit him with a Parasite anyway. Spawn a little drone, up by 21 points. Have a couple of bleeding, so it's really up by 19, but that's still quite a bit. We just have this Heat Wave. We might use it here. Let's see what he plays. Forest Protector. Terror Rebuke. Okay, that's really good for us to get rid of him. Or for him to get rid of. It's good for us. We could pass or we could play Heat Wave. We actually do have Last Stay here, so we're going to pass and then we'll Heat Wave the Gord in the end. He needs a... I guess we can't Heat Wave Gord in the end because he's going to play it to win this round. But still we got rid of him without having to do much. That's really good. I don't think he has many point cards left, many units. So if we can remove a unit or two, he might just be stuck with specials and have to pass and concede the game, which would be pretty funny. It's always kind of amusing when that happens. We have Ornamency, we have Invocation, Yennefer's in our deck, that's fine. We can spawn some drones here. I'm not sure I want Griffin. Yeah, let's put Griffin back, put this back. We still ended up with Griffin. Griffin's a solid point slam though. And if we just throw out this Arachas nest here, his order gives him minus points by damaging himself, so he won't use it. And then if he does try to use it on this Griffin, which I think we'll play next, he'll get low value also, as he'll probably miss it. There's a Maxi, that's a card you don't want to see round 3, that's good for us. And we'll throw down this Griffin. We'll finish with our... I guess we don't have to finish with Heat Wave because... We'll finish with Yennefer because I think it's safer. There's nothing really he can do to threaten us since Gord's gone and Shiru's gone. So I guess we'll just Heat Wave here and finish with Yennefer. That guarantees we win. If we go Yennefer now, there's a tiny chance he can just, I don't know, damages himself and plays Scorch. Doesn't work because Scorch has initiative. Yeah, he knows. GG. Another win for the deck. Looks like we found another Nilfgaard player with Imprisonment. Quite a bit of those today. Actually, it's almost all we're finding. It's going to be kind of hard to get enough games without these guys in the video. So I guess we'll include this one, most likely. If it's a good one, we'll see what happens here. Now, I don't really think natural selection is great. It does answer whatever the lady is who gives spying and then does damage with a cooldown to things that have spying. It's pretty good versus that. But I'm not too concerned about that card in general. I really do want to get these riders out though. No Griffin to help us with that. The fair card's coming out early. Interesting. I think we lock that. I don't want him to get spying in all of our cards, especially this Yennefer for free. And his engine cards typically have Vale. For the ones that don't, we have our Heat Wave, we have our Parasite. He doesn't have that many engines. I think we just lock this guy. I want him to actually have to try to give spying to our units. There's Mage Torture. Give spying to our Dorrregaray of Vole. That won't help him. Let's play this nest here. Get some drones. We can't quite go for our Wild Hunt Riders yet. I want to do that this round. We do have 2 spontaneous evolutions. We could evolve the same drone twice. See if he does something. He'll zap one of our guys probably. There's the Mage Assassin. And we'll hit this guy, boost him up. We could have hit the one in the range row, but I want to get as many drones as possible in one row for Chimera in case he starts killing them off, which I think he might. Lightmaker, that'll kill off another one. But we'll have enough in the melee row for our Chimera. We do have 2 Chimeras, which is why I'm so focused on this. And then there's another one in the melee row. There's a pretty good chance it would spawn there, as in 50%. So let's see what he does here. He doesn't really have anything to kill our drones. We're not playing Bone Talisman, so we can't pull that out here for a bunch of points. But the thing is, our opponents don't know that. So for them, they're always considering our threat of Bone Talisman, which here would be a 13. Chimera we can't quite go for. We could go for Parasite on our own unit and then play Riders. I think parasiting his units isn't going to be very valuable this game, so I think we'll try that. I really want the Riders out. Yeah, let's do this. I really want the Riders out. He might Vincent this, but then we baited out a Vincent. I'd rather him use it in this round than later on. And Parasite's only a 6 provision card. We still have a Heat Wave for an actual problem. Imperial Diplomacy, what's he going to make? Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. Let's see what you're gonna pick here, buddy. Hideous Feast. Okay, that's pretty good for him. He could, if he knocks our guy down or boosts his guy up, we can't actually play our riders anymore. It should be the smart thing for him to do. Okay, it's not actually what he did though. He should have either boosted his guy or damaged our guys to deny our dominance, but we'll take advantage of it if we have the opportunity to. And Bone Talisman now represents 16. He should recognize that. We don't actually play Bone Talisman. I'm surprised how many games we're playing against these decks. There's a Vincent we mentioned, can't read that this round. I'm surprised. What's double Chimera? First Chimeras, we have 7 drones. First Chimera gives worth 11. We can use leader charge. The second one's worth 11. That puts us to 50. 2 Chimeras and a leader charge for the round seems pretty good to me. We'll go for that. He might not keep playing here. Maybe we should re-include Bone Talisman. I was really concerned we'd be facing too many decks that ping away all the drones, but I guess that's not the case. Interesting. Still, we can test the deck without Bone Talisman just to see how it is, and we already calculated this. 1 token, Chimera puts us to 50, and that's a round win. And we'll pass. Now round 2, let's see what our hand looks like. With Yennefer, pushing is a tempting option. The thing is, we really want to get value from her in a scenario where we know he can't just coup her. That means it's kind of problematic playing her in this round, because he definitely will coup her if he hasn't. We'll pass with this hand. This hand's really good. There's another thing really to spawn drones with, though. Well, I guess not drones. We could spawn cows, but there's not too many spawner cards. And I want to try a long way around here. I've pushed these guys earlier, but you usually get up a even card or something for the push. And I guess here I want to try a longer round, see how we do. We should have the control tools to deal with whatever he sets up. He made a cow carcass. This is literally the first time I've ever seen someone do this, and it's just because we passed we could put coup on top of his deck. I'm sure it was coup he chose. But yeah, we have the couple drone spawning cards in our hand. I guess we had the Nasted addition to Germain, but I want to try a longer round. This hand is really good. Do we need the Arachas Nest? We're missing Onermancy and Wispus. Those are good cards. I don't think we need the... well, we have... Triss can create a nest or a spontaneous evolution, but this is still really good because in case he pings away our guys with whatever the new spine cards are. Let's see what he chooses to do with his turn, if he chooses to do anything at all. But our hand's really strong here. I don't think there's much he can do to win this game. As long as we don't play into an Artor and get, or coup and have it hit Triss. Or not Triss, Yennefer. As long as he doesn't coup Yennefer, and then, or spying her and then use her ability, I think we're fine. So we'll just finish with Yennefer no matter what in this game. There's Bribery. Into Yennefer. Oh, thank goodness he did that earlier, or early now. If he waited to do that, that would have been really bad. There's no way you can guarantee that, so it's just kind of an RNG thing, which is why I hate Bribery so much. It is my least favorite card in the entire game, other than Real Pain. So there we bleed Yennefer. Sure. Yennefer didn't really give him anything. It gave him 2 points over us. There's the coup, so now our Yennefer is only vulnerable to Artor, Terra Nova, so we just have to not play into that, and we'll be fine. As soon as he plays Artor, Yennefer is free to play, and it'll be good. We could Heatwave that, but we could also set up some cards. We don't want to over-swarm our rows, especially because you can threaten to fill them with spying cards. So I think we want to save... I think we'll save leader charges and just be careful here. We'll play this Nest. I want him to think he has to kill these drones, but we have so many points here that we have so few right now that I think if we just go Germain into Yennefer, we get a full range draw. We can't play Tristan, which is a problem, but I think we'll be fine. Oh yeah, there we go. GG. I mentioned a 2-round push here, so in that last game. So I didn't want to show 3 full games of just playing Imprisonment Nilfgaard, because apparently that's all anyone's playing right now. But I figured I would at least show you what a 2-round push looks like with the deck and why you might want to go for it. So we'll just speed through this round 1 here, and then we'll talk about that when we get to it. So if we take a look here, he's going to be playing Crystal Ball, or not Crystal Ball, Crystal Skull. He's going to have some engine or whatever. Looks like this would be that turncoat, and then we'll just play here like normal. We just want to do some stuff, maybe get Griffin out, maybe play our Wildhunt Riders. That's really our goal here, is to play Griffin and play Wildhunt Riders. And then our deck, he's going to do his Dead Man's Tongue and things. That's fine with me. He's going to zap one of our guys down. We'll just Heatwave that. I really want to go into a 2-round push here to show you what that looks like. So in the game here, I was really wanting to go for a win on round 1 and to get my riders out. But here we're going to see that he's going to do something about this that we don't really like. But we have committed our Heatwave, which is something. Here comes our riders. This is what we wanted. And I wanted to win this round because I really like winning round 1 versus these decks because I can force out the Artor and the coups, the first and second coups. You really want them to be gone before Yennefer. And the danger of them briberying or archerying or cooing Yennefer is really the lose condition for the deck. So I like pushing against these if the hand looks like it's good for it. The last game, we really should have pushed round 2. I want to try round 3. So yeah, there we go. And now we're getting into the round 2 that I want to talk about. So like I mentioned, the reason we go for this push is we don't want to deal with Archwad Terra Nova, we don't want to deal with Coup, we don't want to do all this stuff on Yennefer. So we go for this push now to get rid of those cards. And actually a short round's not bad with leader charges. You can leader charge into Behemoth or Yennefer and get a whole bunch of points. So we're going to push him so we don't have to deal with these problems here. We're still going to play the game a little bit faster here. Don't want to overwhelm you too much, Nilfgaard, that's for sure. So let's see what he does. He's going to play Turncoat. Sure, that's fine. Pretty standard stuff from him. This deck's really popular. I wonder who streamed or made the videos on this, because it's all over the place now. Now here we're just going to lock. We're just going to push as much as possible. Probably save Triss. I don't mind committing Crimson Curse. Sure, it's a big card, but it's also really a lot of pressure. And that's something we really want to exert on him here. Do a third Guad. Let's see if he takes something good from us. Hopefully he doesn't. Even if he does, it's not the end of the world. Do have to keep careful of its order, putting our Ownermancy on top of our deck and Cantarella in it. That could be problematic. He's going to give us Menno, which doesn't do anything. That's nice. Of course, we also gave him Predatory Dive, which does nothing. But he might Cantarella into the Menno to play a tactic. That's something he certainly could do, and that would be pretty good for him. It's also good for us because it means he can't coup our Yennefer, though, so that's kind of what I want him to do, honestly. That would be ideal. We do have to watch out for the Art Tower then, though, the Terra Nova, because we could get spied on him, and then that wouldn't be great, but he could also move to the top of our deck a card and then play that with Cantarella, so you never know. Either way, he should do something. Let's see what it's going to be. So it's going to be the top of the deck, Cantarella, sure. This might go into the coup. No, the Art Tower. Okay, they're all gone except coup now. So as soon as he plays coup, then our Yennefer is safe. Actually, if we pass here, we get last say. You can't coup our Yennefer, and we can finish with her. I think that's really good. We'll keep this. We got rid of the Art Tower Terra Nova, which was our goal. We got rid of, well, he stole our Ownermancy, which isn't great, obviously, but we got rid of one of the big threats, and we still have last say. And we were kind of in danger of over-swarming in a 10-card round. That's something to mention. In the last game, we would have over-swarmed pretty hard, but our opponent left for that. So keep in mind, you don't usually want to play a 10-card round 3 for that good reason. And there is his playing into our guy. He's going to Attorney Joust. Sure, whatever. And that's the end of round 2. That's the kind of push I do, and that's the reasons why. So it'd be pretty incomplete if we didn't include the rest of the game, but we'll go through this pretty quickly here. We do have the Chimera, we have the Yennefer, we have Triss looking real good. We have our Crimson Curse to push, or to put a lot of pressure on. It's good. Gives us 3 bodies. Let's see what he has left. He still has 2 leader charges, but they're really not valuable. So that's something to keep in mind. They're only worth 6. We have all 5 of ours. It's pretty solid. Let's see what he does here. Artorias Vigo into Emissary. Sure. That's perfect for our Crimson Curse, though. We'll just put that on his row. And like I said here, we can finish with Yennefer. Although we do have to be careful that our range row doesn't get too full. That could be a concern. Because he's going to keep giving us spine cards like this. We have to use Yennefer before he fills up our range row. We can consume something from it with our Chimera, but then put our spine card back there. If we play Yennefer early, we do risk the coup into removing all our boosts, but that's not... I think we can survive that. I think we go for Yennefer here. I'm really concerned he's going to fill up our range row. then we'll be unable to play her at all. And we also need space for Triss. And if he coups this, we can play Triss ranged and then still have the Chimera. I'm really concerned here about running out of space. So yeah, he's going to do this, and it's going to be really big for him. But I was really concerned we're going to run out of space. And as I said, that we just filled that row up again. And we Chimera to eat it away. I wanted to use that last charge, get the Chimera value. Once he got rid of our Yennefer, I don't think he's too concerned about filling our range row. But as long as he knows we have Yennefer, I think he'll try and deny us the range row. But now I think we don't have to worry about it, so we'll have space for Triss. I think he still has a spy left, perhaps. Probably, he still has Joaquin, right? I think he hasn't played that yet. Oh, Invocation. I guess not. And yeah, so Joaquin, yeah, I was concerned about filling the range row up, but this is going to be huge for him, right? Triss in Assimilate decks is so many points. We did get hit hard by Yennefer there, but I think we're still good. And GG. Before we get into the deck summary, I want to apologize for the amount of Nilfgaard games here. I even tried to play 2 more games after recording this video and adding in the audio. We just found 2 more Nilfgaard players, so sorry about the Nilfgaard players today. I played 7 games, and of them 6 were Nilfgaard, so that's just what it is, I guess. We'll try and get some more variety next time, but I can't sit here all day playing against these people waiting for them to not be Nilfgaard. What do I think about the deck, how did it do, card changes, all that good stuff we always throw in here at the end of the video. I liked it. It did better. I didn't do as well as the last time I played Arachas Swarm, but the last time I played Arachas Swarm, it was a purely a meta counter, and I shot up to like 2470 in like an hour or 2. This didn't do that. We went 7-3 playing this deck today. I think we'll put 4 of the games in the video. Some of them, well, a lot of them were just against the same deck over and over, and I didn't want to include all of those, so I skipped over a few games. And yeah, we skipped over a few games because we played a lot of Nilfgaard, very similar decks. I didn't want to just go all the same decks. We kept playing until we got a few different things. But as far as the cards go, there's one thing that I want to point out, that when you're not facing off against so many opponents' decks that really rely on control, this does quite well, but there's one thing you have to watch out for. Nilfgaard's really popular in my games right now. I'm not sure what happened. Yesterday it was all Syndicate, all Skellige, Squirtle. Now it's all Nilfgaard. I guess some streamer or YouTuber or someone made a Nilfgaard Imprisonment guide, because that's all I see. But I guess there's a couple different Nilfgaard Imprisonment decks that are really popular. But anyway, the thing is, against them, this deck actually has one huge weakness. And it's Yennefer. As you play Yennefer, well, first of all, they play Bribery. If they bribe your Yennefer, they can just blow you out by taking out all your tokens. You gotta keep careful about that. The second thing is, you want to really play the Yennefer last, or until after they played their R2-Odd, whoever plays the copy of something you give spying to. Because they can give this spying, you play Yennefer, then they play Yennefer, and that's your big swing's gone. So, you gotta be careful about that, that's for sure. Now, the one card I really didn't miss was Bone Talisman. Bone Talisman's, it's been a staple of Arachas Swarm forever. I cut it out of this deck because I wasn't confident we'd be able to keep tokens out due to Madoc and Squirtle and stuff like that. The deck's still good if you don't always have a bunch of tokens out, by the way, because we don't need that much token payoff for the tokens to be good. So I just removed the Bone Talismans to figure we didn't need them, and I didn't miss them, honestly. It feels bad if you're playing Triss and you're trying to get Bone Talisman too and you don't get it. So that was the thing. And yeah, I didn't really miss Bone Talisman, although it certainly is good if you're facing less control. Kind of like we were, actually. You can easily cut Aguara and Dorrregaray Vole for double Bone Talisman, and then cut out Dive and the Feast for 2 units of your choice. That's definitely an option. Probably a pretty solid option too if you're not facing against stuff that kills all your tokens. So yeah, that's the big one right there. We could put in Bone Talismans. I didn't really miss them. I thought we were fine without them. Griffin did alright. About what I expected. It really did help with setting up the Wild Hunt Riders, which is kind of what I wanted it for. And we had enough removal to deal with stuff. The reason I went for double lock, by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the intro. I don't think I did. The reason I went double lock here, other than the fact we're playing control, is locks are a good way to deal with Madoc. And Madoc is a big problem. Because if you lock Madoc, he can't Cataclysm you at all in the round they do that in. Now, if you do that, you lock him. It's not as good as Banishing, obviously. We could Hate Wave him. I would really only do that round 1. But we don't have a banish. You could throw a banish in here for sure. I think I could use Feast or Squirrel, something like that. Would be a good choice. But we can lock the Madoc, and that's not, they're not going to unlock him, right? The only people who unlock him usually run Mahakam Ale. It's the big one for the unlock. They Mahakam Ale him, but then he's boosted, so they won't use his ability to kill him off because they're wasting 5 points at that point. So yeah, this lock is actually quite good versus Madoc. We didn't have too much trouble with him, especially with the Heat Wave as another option. But yeah, the deck seemed good. Those are the big changes. Bone Talisman could be added. I think I like this version. I want to fit in a Squirrel somewhere or a Xavier Lemons. Dorrregaray Vole can be swapped for Xavier very easily. But I think I want to take out Predatory Dive. Probably take out Predatory Vive or something else. It did okay, but I was really facing against stuff where this didn't do too well. But it's always a solid option to keep in the deck. Anyway, rambling too much here. This is the deck. It seemed pretty good. We climbed up almost back to top 500. That's pretty good to see. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.